In this new video, I am going to teach you what is the PCV valve, what is its function. I will tell you its 5 most common failures and how to test this valve in an easy way in your home. So stay until the end of the video. Let's start with the information. The PCV valve is always located in the monoblock or valve cover and is L-shaped, but there are different models depending on the car. This valve is only responsible for releasing the pressure inside the engine by means of a ball or an internal spring that makes the valve open and close. If you notice any of the following faults, it is likely that you need to replace the PCV valve in your car. Number 1 is white smoke in the engine exhaust. When the PCV valve becomes damaged and stuck in the open position, it allows engine oil to travel through the lines that connect it to the engine intake hose, contaminating the air filter, ducts, throttle body, IMRC control, etc. When the oil gets into the combustion chamber, it burns along with the air-gasoline mixture, causing white smoke. Number 2, you are going to have oil-contaminated air filters and air ducts. As we saw in the previous point, when attacked in the open position, the air filter is soaked in oil, losing all possibility of filtering the dust that enters through the intake duct into the engine. Number 3, you are going to have relant failure. Once the sensors in the intake ducts are contaminated, such as the MIF sensor, the IA, the throttle body, the IMRC, the engine may have throttle failure. It may shut down on acceleration or simply stop accelerating. Number 4, we are going to have oil leaks in oil seals or gaskets. When the PCV valve is stuck in the closed position, the gases generated by the combustion and the oil vapors generate so much pressure that they begin to damage the gaskets and seals of the engine until they are completely damaged. This will cause the engine to start damaging on the outside and can damage more components. Number 5, a fault code related to the throttle body, either the IMRC system, the MF sensor, or the GAO. The problem with not replacing this valve on time is that, number 1, if the PCV valve gets stuck in the open position, oil is going to travel through the intake ducts and the engine can run out of oil in a few thousand miles. Number 2, you're going to have oil-contaminated intake manifolds. And number 3 is that being stuck open can damage components such as the air filter, the plus sensor, the yes sensor, the throttle body, the control and MRC, and these components can wreak havoc on your pocket if any replacement is required. Now, one way to tell if the PCV valve is in good shape easily is number 1, we let the engine come up to its normal operating temperature. Number 2, we're going to disconnect the hose coming out of the PCV valve and the regulations will go down. Number 3, we plug the hose with our finger and check for suction. Number 4, we connect the hose back to the PCV valve and pull the valve out. Number 5, we plug the entrance of the PCV valve with our finger and check that there is suction. In this case, we can be sure that the valve does its job properly. We can also clean the valve to remove the impurity and lengthen its life. For this, we simply remove the PCV valve. We will introduce it in soapy water for a few minutes, and that way we will be able to undo the blockage. If this information helped you, subscribe to the channel, leave us a like, and if you have any problems with your car, leave it in the comments. We will help you and we will respond. See you in the next video.